couple years ago, they said I was done.
I write something on my shoes every game that say, can't give up now.
TP3, hotter than fish grease. Houdini in the house.
It's like an old-time prize fight in the later rounds.
We're going home to the best fans in the league.
Do what we're supposed to do out of the last laugh.
So Game 5, back at home. How scrappy a team can we expect out there on the court?
Very, very. At this point of the season, there's no need to save anything. You got to leave it all out there on the court. You got to have that trust, and we done did it all season long, and we done talked about it. I mean, if you started off the season and said, hey, we'll give you 2 out of 3 chances at home to win the NBA championship, would you take it? And everybody said, hell yeah, so here we are.
Here you are. You said after the Game 4 loss, you weren't happy with those 5 turnovers you had. I know your scoring has dipped in every game of this series. What have you looked at as what you think the issue is, and how are you going to fix it?
I mean, I looked at all different types of things, but for me, scoring isn't everything. You can make an imprint on the game in different ways, but with the shooting and the offensive firepower that we have, every time we turn the ball over, we take the chance away from that. So I got to be better in that department and just put my imprint on the game.
In the locker room right after Game 4, Monty gave a little speech to you guys.
Ever since I've been here, we talked about everything you want is on the other side of hard. This is hard. This is freaking hard. So you got to stick together. That's the deal, all right?
How has that message stuck with you guys ever since?
That's sort of been our motto all season long. Coach says that, we say it as a team, and we here, we in it.
Your relationship with Monty has been such a great through line of all of this, and when we look back to a decade ago when you guys were together in New Orleans, how do you think you both have changed the most since then?
Besides appearance.
Who's changed the most there?
Probably me. But I think the biggest thing is, I think we respect each other for who we are, and we both know that we both have been through a lot in our lives, him definitely more than me. And so we sort of understand each other a lot better. We understand the importance of conversations, especially hard conversations, and staying in the moment, enjoying the moment, and understanding how long it took us both to get here, and we got to seize the opportunity.
To have someone who knows you that well, not just knows where you started, but you two remain close even after you weren't working together anymore. Does that make sharing this moment together special to be here in this time?
To tell you the truth, it does make it special to share it, knowing what we've both been through, especially him. But that's not gonna win it for us. To tell you the truth, all that's good and well, all the relationships, all the good feel-good stories with our team is all good and well, but that's not gonna win the game for us. At the end of the day, I always say nobody cares about your story unless you win it.
Well, your story involved a lot of twists and turns, and the biggest crossroads recently was when you get traded to Oklahoma City. There's a lot of people who think, all right, I guess Chris is just gonna finish out the rest of his career on a not competitive rebuilding team, and this is the end for Chris Paul. You start writing on your shoes, can't give up now.
Yeah.
There are players who would have just said, okay, I've had a good run, I don't want to fight this battle anymore. What is it in you that said, oh no, I'll be back on a stage like this?
I don't know, anybody who thought that probably don't know me, and that's pretty much the story of our lives, everybody's lives. We live in this sort of, this spotlight, where everybody thinks they know you, but they don't. And so, for me, trade happened. Okay, this is my team. Cool. You get back to work, and this is a game. Like, I love to play this game. Like, I know this game, and so to be here on this stage, it's special. It's dope. I appreciate it, but I don't expect nothing less.
After you got traded to the Suns, the very next day, there's video of you and Devin Booker working out together. And I've been thinking of that as you guys have been on this final stage. Was there anything in that moment back then that tipped you off? Not necessarily, hey, we're going to an NBA Finals, but, oh, this is gonna work.
That day, trade happened, I hit Book. I was like, yo, can we get in the gym? And I knew Book. I hadn't really spent like that basketball time with him, but once I got with him, and it all always goes back to the knowing yourself. So I know me, and I know who I am, and I know that I'll sacrifice whatever needs to happen in order for the cause. And getting to know Book, he's the same way. Coach is the same way. Jay Crowder's the same way. DA. And once you start bringing all these pieces together, you end up here.
So all the ups and downs over 16 years, you have played more than 1,200 NBA games. The fact that you have put in all that work, all those hours of practice, all the stuff when no one's looking. If you can win a title, will it make the road more special, the fact that you actually traveled so hard to get here?
It'll definitely be special, but all those games that I played, practices or whatnot, it leads you here. You know, it leads you here. And that's always been my mindset. You know, so regardless what happened, I wouldn't trade that for anything. There's a whole lot of people out there who would love to have my job, love to have my job. So I don't take it for granted. I know I'm blessed and fortunate to be in this situation, but I gotta have it.
Well, you get a new hat, a new T-shirt, and a very shiny piece of hardware if you win.
This one, Milwaukee is the second team in finals history to win despite a deficit that large at the end of the first quarter, joining the 2008 Celtics. The Bucks shot 71.
Wilbon joins us now from the newly named Footprint Center in Phoenix. Michael, that alley-oop is going to be the thing we see over and over again here. The clinching play in Game 5, as the block was in Game 4. But that big three, Michael, that doesn't get the shine for whatever reason that a lot of other big threes are up near historic numbers tonight, 88 points in Game 5. How do you put their performance into context?
It was virtually flawless. I mean, Tim Legler alluded to it already, other than some missed free throws from Giannis late in the game. And actually one by Middleton as well to sort of let Phoenix back in this. To get that big three to play that well in a game on the road, I mean, you don't want to have to come back here for Game 7, even if you win Game 6 at home, for those three to play like that. And Drew Holiday started it. I mean, he was just all over Chris Paul defensively early. It was sort of amazing that Chris, with whatever was ailing him with that hand, was able to play himself back into Chris Paul form late. And I think he hit all three of his threes in this game as well. But Drew Holiday was so aggressive defensively, and that seemed to get him going offensively. And then by the time Middleton got into it in the middle third of the game, and then Giannis late as the closer, except the free throws, I don't know how you can expect for any big three to play better than the Bucks' big three did tonight.
They get 32 from Giannis, 29 from Chris Middleton, 27 from Drew Holiday in the win. Michael, on the other side, Phoenix shoots 55% from the field. They shoot 62% from three-point range in their building, and they lose. Monty Williams, who's been so good with messages to his team in this series and all season long. I mean, what's the message to your team after you lose with that kind of a performance?
Yeah, I don't know where they go. They're going to have to dig a place deeper than most of those players on the Suns have ever dug before or even tried to. I mean, Chris Paul has been in close to this situation. The rest have not. They've got to dig someplace really deep to sort of, not to motivate themselves. I mean, you see how this team, how hard they played, how resolute they were late when it looked like they had no chance to come back. But now they've got to do this again. You got to go get how many points for Devin Booker? You know, I had the pleasure of sitting next to Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas tonight to watch this game here in Phoenix. And I remember I said to Isaiah, if Booker doesn't get 45 or more, they can't win this game. They were just so far down, and people were chipping in a little bit at a time. I know Ayton had 20 points and 10 rebounds, but he wasn't the force that we've seen earlier in this series or in other playoff series this season, this postseason for Phoenix. So where do you go? And it's going to be interesting what it is they come up with. Maybe, and this may be the important thing, we saw Chris Paul look like Chris Paul again. Again, hurting. I know he's not going to talk about it. I don't know that anybody outside the team knows specifically, you know, how badly Chris is hurting and what's going on with that hand, but something is. But he played his way through it. And can he start in that place in Game 6 in Milwaukee, a game now that the Suns have to have? Remember, the Phoenix Suns have not faced elimination. They've only trailed once in this postseason, 2-1 to the Lakers before they took the Lakers out with 3 consecutive wins. So the Suns are in an all...
Falling behind 2-0 in the finals, the 06 Heat and 77 Blazers both closed it out at home in Game 6.
I mean, what a series. Tim Legler joining us now. Tim, what changed after that first quarter when the Bucks were down 16?